one of the things that becomes a hot button conversation, and this is someone asked me about this, and I said, what is causing the disconnect between saying Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter, right? How would someone respond to that question?
Yeah, it's I hear it all the time in the work that I do with the people that I connect with. I hear this quite often. So it's not that, it's not that all lives don't matter, because of course all lives matter. The question really becomes, we can see, as I was saying before, there's something going on. We're not all on this level playing field, right? That, and when some folks are on the receiving end of discrimination, daily microaggressions, bigotry, prejudice, all the things we've talked about already, when somebody's on the receiving end of that on a daily basis, right? Now, all of a sudden, we need to take special care. We need to say, hey, wait a second. It's not that all lives don't matter. That's true. But, what's going on here? We really need to take special care, because the goal really is that in my mind, we want equity, right? We want everyone to feel like they have access, that they are not only included, but they belong in society, wherever that is, in your organization. That, my goal when I come into an organization to work with them, I always say, I want every person who is associated with you, whatever your stakeholders are, whomever they are, that they all feel like it's a home away from home, that they feel like they belong. Right now, and for centuries now, folks of color, particularly Black folks, and African Americans in particular, have not been made to feel included or like they belong. And we know that from a psychological or even an evolutionary perspective, we skew, as humans, we skew towards exclusion. In other words, whenever we come into a space, and back in the day was we're worried we're going to be eaten by a lion. Like, we're constantly on the lookout. Am I going to be okay here? And we know from all the research, and there's tons of it out there now, that shows that folks of color have been made to feel like they don't belong. And so when we say Black Lives Matter, it's pulling up, it's saying we need to, as I said, pay special attention right here, because not everyone is feeling like they belong, and we need to do something about it. It has nothing to do with, white folks feeling like are you saying I don't matter? No, of course you already matter. That's already been, shown over and over again. We need to look at the social identities, people from marginalized social identities that have been excluded for centuries now. And I would love to reflect the question to you, and what would you add to that? I mean, what are your thoughts about that? White lives matter versus all lives? Black lives matter versus all lives matter.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, because when I first heard this several years ago, I didn't fully grasp it. But what it means to me is, to your point, because you say Black Lives Matter, it does not mean you're saying all lives don't matter. But what the difference is Black and brown people are being killed in the streets, and the perpetrators are not being punished. You can go through numerous examples of this person was killed, the person that killed him got off, because one was Black, one was white. I mean, I'm simplifying this, but if I really had to kind of give you an example of why you should be able to say Black Lives Matter and no one gets offended by it, because you're not necessarily saying all lives don't matter, but the people, all lives, if you're a white person and you get killed, and in this case, let's say by the police, as an unarmed person, someone's getting prosecuted. Mm-hmm. If you are a Black person, there are some examples of this, and you get killed, and this is a broader generalization, but this is why the statement came out in the first place, is these lives matter also so do something about it and punish the people who did the killing, right? If you look at Ahmaud Arbery, and I don't want to get too far into these stories, but if you look at Ahmaud Arbery, it took almost 2 months before anything was even done, and then it would have been a cover-up. I mean, so those are just examples of why I'm saying Black Lives Matter, and as a result, it doesn't mean white lives don't matter or blue lives don't matter or other lives matter, but it shouldn't detract from that. I mean, that's my personal layman's understanding of it.
I love that.